So you have a member in your forum who's never prepared and never filling out their reflection forms. And on today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix that. So I have a forum member turning up to forum who's not prepared for the meeting. You're the type of member who turns up and they're filling out their forms just minutes before the forum's supposed to start. Now I know how frustrating that can be, but the fix is actually rather simple as long as you follow these steps. The first step that I actually recommend people do is go back to your constitution. What are the agreed expectations on being prepared for a meeting? For example, what forms do they have to fill out? In what format do they have to fill it out in? How do they share those forms? Do they share it before forum? Do they only share it at forum? What type of meetings do you have before your actual forum begins? Do you have goal buddy meetings? And what type of preparedness do they need to have for making a deep dive or a 5% reflection? So in other words, you understand what the expectations are of the forum. Because the next step is taking those expectations to the forum and actually going through them together as a forum group. I usually recommend setting aside between 10 and 15 minutes at the forum to go through the constitution and to go through that particular part. You all read through and all agree again what the expectations are. But this is also where you cover off why those expectations are there. For example, you can't get value out of a meeting that you're not prepared for. Forum is far more than just 4 hours a month. It's engaging in the process. And that particular meeting at your forum is where you get everyone on the same page. Now let's assume the next couple of meetings are fixed, but then it starts up again where the individual is not filling out and not getting prepared for the meetings again. This is where you have a one-on-one meeting with the member. You don't do this in forum in front of everyone else. And then you start to ask questions of that individual member. What I normally do is I go into these meetings and I don't assume guilt first. Because funny enough, when I've had these meetings before, about half the time, I usually have a member not quite understanding the process. I've even had a member actually feel scared to actually ask the forum how to fill the forms out because they didn't want to look like they weren't listening the first time. Because this journey in forum is sometimes quite easy for members like me who've been around a long time, but for a brand new member, it's quite confronting. Now at this meeting, this is where you ask questions like, how are you going in forum? Are you getting the value you need? How's your preparedness for the meetings going? I notice some of your forms aren't being filled out beforehand, how, as we all agreed as a team. Is there any reason for that? Can I help with that? And this is where you get down and find out what the possible causes of the continuous lack of preparedness might be. It might be a lack of time, it might be a lack of engagement, who knows? But this is the meeting where you want to find out so you can make your next decision of what comes next. Now let's assume the meeting goes ahead and you clarify what the expectations are and they still don't meet those expectations. This is where you need to have a tough conversation. Once again, not in front of everyone, but with that individual member. Because the thing is, if you have a constitution and you all agree that's what you're going to do, and one member is not doing that in the forum, you as a forum leader or even a forum member have to confront that. Because if you don't, you'll have two sets of rules and then trust will fall through the floor and then value from forum will follow it. So this is where tough conversations have to come up of whether that individual is actually right for your forum. Now forum isn't always easy. Now I have to say that 95% of the time when I go through that process, I never get to the tough conversation because we normally all get on the same page and then we move forward. Even the forums I've had to help when they started at loggerheads came together in the end. As I said, forum is never supposed to be comfortable and unfortunately these type of conversations are ones you have to have. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll put a couple of videos around me here that you might be interested in because as I always say, healthy forums don't happen by accident.